Jones AT&T Stadium was the place to be on Saturday night as the Red Raiders welcomed number 7 Oklahoma to town. Coming up, MCTV's Ryan Heller has a look back at that game and more in sports.
With the end of fall semester just over a month away, many students are thinking about options for jobs and internships. Find out how one college gave their students an easy way to get information to plan for their future next.
And with the university population growing every year, construction has become a common sight on campus. We'll tell you about 2 current projects that are providing expanded spaces for faculty, staff, students, and alumni.
This is the MCTV Weekday Update.
Welcome to the Monday edition of the MCTV Weekday Update. I'm Jay McCully.
And I'm Alma Bustamante. The Texas Tech football team faced their toughest test of the season on Saturday against the number 7 ranked Oklahoma Sooners.
That's true, Alma. But could Tech upset Oklahoma's hopes for a chance at a national championship? MCTV's Ryan Heller joins us now with a look back at this past weekend's matchup. Ryan?
Thanks, Jay and Alma. It was a big night under the lights at Jones on Saturday, but unfortunately the Red Raiders came up short against the nation's second-best offense. Tech started off hot with 2 interceptions leading to 2 touchdowns in the first 10 minutes of the game, but after that the Sooners corrected their mistakes and scored 28 points before halftime. After halftime, the fans were stunned as quarterback Alan Bowman was taken to the locker room and backup Jet Duffy led the team to the field in the third quarter. Duffy had a few rough series to start the half, but eventually led the team to 2 more touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Unfortunately, a failed 2-point conversion led to an Oklahoma safety, and the Red Raiders were unable to even up the score. The Sooners took home the win 51-46. Coming up later in sports, I'll have another look at Saturday's game and a preview of the Red Raiders' next matchup against a ranked opponent. Back to you, Alma.
Thanks, Ryan. In other news, it's the final day before the midterm elections, and tomorrow you will have a chance to have your voice heard. Starting tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., voters who are registered in Lubbock County can stop by any voting location and cast their ballot for tomorrow's election. Here on campus, voting booths will be set up in the library's Crosley room located just inside the entrance across from the sub. This year's ballot includes state and local elections, including the well-known race for one of Texas' U.S. Senate seats. That race features Republican incumbent Ted Cruz against Democrat Beto O'Rourke. All polling locations will remain open until 7 p.m. tomorrow night, and all that is required to vote is a driver's license or official ID. For more information on tomorrow's elections, including a full list of polling locations and a sample ballot, visit votelubbock.org.
The last day of classes for the fall semester is 1 month away. With that in mind, one college here on campus gave their students a chance to start making plans for their future. On Thursday, the College of Media and Communication held their annual career and internship fair in the Sub Ballroom. During the fair, representatives from companies and organizations met up with students to provide information about jobs and internship opportunities. Students were encouraged to dress professionally and bring a resume with the hopes of finding options for their future careers. Thursday's fair included representatives from TV and radio broadcasting companies, advertising and PR firms, and nonprofit organizations. The Career and Internship Fair is held each year in the fall. If you missed out on this year's career fair, you can still make an appointment with the college's career coordinator to learn about job and internship opportunities. Visit the website on screen for more information.
A popular venue on the Tech campus will soon be getting a few additions and a facelift as it heads into its 3rd decade of service. Last month, the Texas Tech Alumni Association announced the upcoming expansion of the Fraser Alumni Pavilion. The facility was built in 1998 to host pre-game activities for home football games and is also a popular spot for meetings and special events. The announced expansion will include $6 million in renovations that will improve the space. Several additions will be included in the expansion, including a 4,000 square foot event area, an upstairs terrace, and updates to the north and south entrances. Since the facility is also frequently used for weddings, the plans also call for a new bridal suite to be added to the building. The official groundbreaking ceremony for the expansion of the Fraser Pavilion is scheduled for Friday at 2 p.m.
It should come as no surprise, but the number of people on the Texas Tech campus continues to grow every year. And with that growth, the university is finding new ways to accommodate the expanding campus population. Earlier this semester, Texas Tech began a long-awaited project on Weeks Hall. Construction was originally scheduled to start in the summer of 2017, but work on other projects pushed the start date back to the fall of this year. The planned renovations include office space for faculty, staff, and administrators, and the requirements for that space will include new utilities, lighting, technology, and life safety installations. The original budget for the project was set at $975,000, but a sign outside the building raises the cost to $24.8 million. Weeks Hall is one of the oldest buildings on campus. The facility was originally built in 1957, but was later vacated in 1991. The building was largely left empty until it was partially renovated in 2015. For use by the Department of Visual and Performing Arts, there is currently no set end date for the project. Over the weekend, the Lubbock area experienced mild temperatures and even a return of some rain as a cold front moved into the area on Saturday afternoon.
That's right, Jay. The changing conditions made for a pretty cool night out at the Jones, and lows on Sunday almost dropped to the freezing mark. So is it time to start pulling out your winter clothing? Let's take a look at the MCTV forecast. The MCTV Tower Cam is showing lots of sun this afternoon, and that's also creating some warmer temperatures today. Highs have already climbed into the 70s, and warmer temperatures should stick around until sunset. Tomorrow, we'll see a repeat of today's weather with even more sun and highs back in the mid-70s. But in the early morning on Wednesday, a cool front will move back into the area, and temperatures will stay in the 40s and 50s throughout the day. We'll also see a return of cloudy conditions around mid-morning, and the clouds will increase later in the afternoon. On Thursday morning, we'll start the day with overcast skies and a chance for rain. Students walking to class on Thursday face a wet and cold commute with showers expected to continue until around 10 a.m. After that, temperatures will continue to stay cool, but it should be dry most of the day. Highs on Thursday are only expected to reach the low 50s, and overnight we should see a return for freezing temperatures. Looking ahead, cooler temperatures and more clouds will stay in the forecast as we head into the weekend.
As we mentioned earlier, the Red Raider football team suffered a tough loss over the weekend at Jones AT&T Stadium.
But even with the loss, the team still had a lot to offer, where after going toe-to-toe with one of the nation's top 10 teams. MCTV Ryan Heller is back in studio with more details on Saturday's game. Ryan?
Thanks, Alma and Jay. The Texas Tech football team fought hard on Saturday, but fell short against the then 7th-ranked Oklahoma Sooners. Antoine Wesley had 12 catches for 199 yards, and Vontae Davis was great with 2 interceptions. Alan Bowman was 21 for 26 with 227 yards and 2 touchdowns before being taken out of the game after halftime. Bowman was sidelined in the second half due to the reoccurrence of the partially collapsed lung that haunted him against West Virginia. His condition is still unknown heading into this week. The Red Raiders will take on the Texas Longhorns next week, and the kickoff starts at 6:30 here at the Jones AT&T Stadium. If you can't make it to the game, you can catch it on Fox. Texas Tech men's tennis heads to surprise Arizona for the ITA National Falls Championships after returning from the SoCal Intercollegiate in LA. In other news for the team, Bjorn Thompson was selected to the Big 12 SAAC chair position by his conference peers. The Big 12 SAAC allows student athletes from each conference to organize and let their voices be heard through feedback on athletic legislation. We wish Bjorn and the rest of the team the best of luck in Arizona. The Texas Tech soccer made it to the semifinals in the Big 12 tournament, but sadly fell short against Baylor 2-1 in overtime. After trailing 1-0 at the half, Kirsten Davis tied it up in the 56th minute, and the score stayed tied until Baylor scored in overtime. The Red Raiders are still hopeful as the NCAA Tournament Selection Show will be held today at 3:30, where Texas Tech hopes to have their names called and even possibly get awarded a home matchup for the first round. Texas Tech volleyball came up empty against Kansas on Saturday, losing to the Jayhawks. Emily Hill had 15 kills, Emerson Solano had 15 digs, and Missy Owens recorded 43 assists. They will take on the Oklahoma Sooners here on Wednesday at 6. If you are not able to make it to the game, you can catch it on FSSW+. Well, people, it's that time again. College basketball is back. The men's team hopes to recapture the Elite Eight magic of last season, starting tomorrow as they will face Incarnate Word. The game tips off at the USA at 6:30. The game will also be televised on FSSW+. The women's team also kicks into gear and starts a new era with the new coach Marlene Stallings on Friday when they take on Jacksonville State. That game tips off at 5:30. In NHL news, The Dallas Stars beat the Washington Capitals 4-3 in overtime on Saturday. The three stars of the game were Jason Dickinson, Jason Spezza, and Nicholas Backstrom. They will face the Boston Bruins tonight at 6. The game will be televised on FSSW. The Houston Texans continue to defy the odds as they defeated the Denver Broncos 19-17 yesterday. After getting pinned deep, Case Keenum drove the Broncos into field goal range, where kicker Brandon McManus had a chance for a 51-yard game winner. It had the distance, but not the accuracy, and Houston left with the win. The Texans have done something only the 1970 New York Giants have done. They went from being 0-3 to winning 6 straight and leading their division. But that's all for sports. Back to you, Alma.
Thanks, Ryan. With November underway, many students are starting to think about Thanksgiving vacation, and if you are needing an option to get out of town, you still have time to take advantage of a special offer. Tickets for the annual Thanksgiving break shuttle bus trips are currently on sale. The trips are coordinated annually by the Office of Parent and Family Relations. This year's destinations include Austin, Dallas, El Paso, Houston, and San Antonio. From now through tomorrow, you can get tickets and the standard rate shown on your screen. But after tomorrow, the prices will increase by $10 per ticket. If you would like to take advantage of this special offer, visit breakshuttle.com.
If you do have a vehicle and are planning to drive home for Thanksgiving, it might be a good idea to have your car checked before you hit the road. Luckily, One Campus Group has you covered. Transportation and Parking Services will be hosting the fall edition of their car care clinic this Wednesday in the Commuter West parking lot. From 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m., students can bring their vehicle to the lot just south of the television tower and get a free checkup, free food, and more. Representatives from Scott's Complete Car Care will be on hand to look over your vehicle, and they will fill up fluids and make recommendations on any repairs that you might need to do before hitting the road. Participants in the clinic will also have a chance to win a free parking permit from TPS. Wednesday's Car Care Clinic is free for all students.
So Jay, have you made any Thanksgiving break plans?
Yeah, this is actually the first semester I'm going to go home because, I'm from Southeast Texas, which is like a 9-hour drive away. And, I don't really want to put those miles on my vehicle. So I actually bought my airplane ticket in the summer because, United Airlines, man, they get expensive, yeah. Exactly. What about you? What are you doing?
I'll be working here. I'm probably going to stay here in Lubbock and just work since I have a full-time job, so I can't really, do much.
That's honorable, Working class student.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Well, that's all for today's edition of the MCTV Weekday Update.
Thanks so much for joining us, and be sure to check ttuhub.net every day for more news. We'll see you on Thursday.